Welcome to MYBcast, a podcast series devoted to exploring alternatives for self-care through somatic touch therapies of all sorts. We are fascinated with the mind-body connection, and so are the people we talk with. Today, we're continuing our series, Portraits of the Pioneers. Portraits offers an in-depth look at those who have actively been involved in the exploration, development, and practice of somatic touch therapies since its early inception. I'm Anna Marie Bowers, and I'm here with my co-host, Richard Mack. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Anna Marie.
Today, we are excited to talk with our guest, Abraham Bahat. Welcome, Abraham.
Welcome. Hi. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Let's start today with your story. And our question is very general and just let you talk. What brought you to somatic touch therapies in your life?
My back. It's very simple. From childhood, I had serious lower back problems. I was also a sportsman. I loved to jump to the far, and that made it even worse. And so I had this issue. Funny enough, in the army, it was a little bit better. We had to carry something heavy on the back, but it went down and it was pulling something and it was making it a little bit better. But later on, I became a farmer. I worked in a farm in the Galilee, in Yodfat. And it was problematic, this back, to work physically with it. I needed to learn how to do it. So my first introduction into the world of how to make it better was through the Alexander technique. I don't know if you recognize it. It was very helpful. Did not solve the problem, but helped me to work with it. A little bit later on, I met the Paula Method. I don't know if anyone heard about the Paula Method because it's an Israeli method after the name of Paula Garburg. And that is a natural therapeutic movement. So it's more or less, she was seeing how babies are moving and developing themselves through movement, by movement, and adapted things from there. So it has to do a lot with sphincter muscles. And I had an experience through one exercise from the book, and it was amazing. So I started to learn it. I was arriving from the Galilee to Tel Aviv once a week to learn it. And then I became also a teacher of the Paula Method. And as I started with this world, I also met massage. But when I met the structural integration of either Rolf, what is known as Rolfing, that completely changed my world. But it was along with the Trager Approach, because I started 1989 with the structural integration, and half a year later, I also met the Trager Approach. And I remember the first time that I was walking up the hill and having no back pain because I was using both my line, my central axis, and feeling the weight of the leg as I was walking up instead of using my back muscles. Mm-hmm. And that was amazing for me because, even to walk in the mall, it was difficult for me. I would get back pain, couldn't stand longer or walk longer. So since the structural integration series, the 10-session series, and especially the fifth one, which is working on the function of the psoas, my life changed. I do have still some sensitivity in my lower back, but it's not a problem anymore. Mm-hmm. So that's how I arrived to this work.
How many years was that, Abraham? How many years ago was that?
Well, quite a while. It's about 41 years ago that I started. But as I said, the structural integration I met on 89. I was graduated on 90. and then continue to learn a lot, just like the Trager as well. So Trager I met on 1990. So yeah, quite a while. Now, yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more about the Paula method?
The Paula method, as I said, it's a natural movement therapy. So the way I'll explain how it helped my back. First of all, it helped me with an extraordinary exercise, which was designed to problems of asymmetry in the body. Like if you have a minor scoliosis or something like that. And it was, I think that was the exercise that I was doing. It was stretching the short side while contracting the long one.
Ah.
So lying down on the mattress and keeping that for a long time, looking at the upper hand. And I was doing it in the evening, and it was an evening that I knew that the next day I would not be able to get up because I had a very difficult day with an old tractor D4. It's called. You have to pull the stick and to push with the leg at the same time, and my back was ala panim, we say in Hebrew. I don't know it in English. Anyway, I knew it. I will have to be at home, but I only remembered it the next night. So I forgot all about it. This exercise took it all away. That was amazing enough to start to learn it. Later on, the main factor that helped me is it deals with the front sphincter and the rear sphincter of the pelvic floor.
Okay.
So the balance between them changes the angle of the pelvis and reduced the pressure that I had on L2, which was pushed forward in my jump to the far as I was arching like this, and I really heard it like that. And so I had really a problem. And so that really changed something. But yet it did not teach me, because Paula method is not teaching you anything. It's all natural. You have to allow your body to find its way to heal itself. So it does connect to the Trager movement on the place where we just allow the body to do what it wants. That's Paula. That's the same thing, only that Paula, it starts from what we call triggers. That's so funny. Trager and triggers. So the triggers are small exercises that are not really exercises, are just triggers, like contract my eyes and release, and allow my body to cooperate, to react, or to cooperate, to do what it wants to do with it. So if you're a small child, you will do things like I'm showing you now. But if you're an adult, you'll just contract your eyes. You don't move anything. So learning the Paula method is about allowing the body to respond and to use the trigger and to allow it to develop. It might start to do totally different things just because you allow it to react to the trigger. So that's the Paula method.
Thank you. So that increased self-awareness about all of the ways in which the body is connected when you just start one movement or you do one action, that increased,
especially regarding the sphincter muscles. So what you found that in the base of any movement, there is either the front sphincter or the rear sphincter. And sometimes the body is working against itself. So it's like stuck, both of them together. It's like working with when we teach the structural integration, one of the things we're teaching is how to work synergetically with the agonist-antagonist. Don't work against yourself. So that's more specifically to muscles. But in the Paula method, it's allow all the system to work together. So they enforce one the other, and it's a way that jumps over difficulties, like if you cannot contract your one eye, and with the help of the whole system, you might be later on able and really cure some things that you couldn't reach by usual physiotherapy exercises, because when it's direct you cannot, but when you allow everything to respond, it starts to work. Yes.
That's interesting. I would like to hear about how these all integrate for you. So you've been with structural integration, Rolfing,
Yeah.
the method you just described, and the Trager approach. Anything else that is part of your toolbox that you currently use in your somatics?
Yes, but I don't think we have time for that. It's a long explanation how I adapt the
Yes.
Luatica therapy into my body work. Luatica therapy, it's another kind of therapy that deals with all the parts of us as human beings, from the consciousness down to habits and what I do in my daily life. So I just mentioned that I have that, but I put it for a second on the side, but it's not on the side when I'm working. It's there all the time, but if we'll have time, we'll come back to it.
Can you spell that in English?
We call it LTT because it's Luatica therapy. Luatica therapy. So and that's also an Israeli thing, quite relatively new, and yeah. So it's coming from a whole school of developmental processes that I'm in it for quite a while now, and part of it is learning the Luatica therapy, and which is using also energetic support. So it has energetic tools to help the client to develop through the process. Like if I like in structure integration, I help the client by opening adhesions that are limiting the possible movement. So with the limitation, it's more difficult to be in the correct posture or correct movement according to either of. So with the mutual work, we open it. So that's important to realize that the structural integration is a mutual work. We work together. I apply pressure. The pressure needs to create some heat. And the heat and the pressure are melting the adhesions. And that's the time when the client can do a movement. And the movement has to be slow and easy and correct. What does it mean correct? There are lines of movement in the structural integration, like leg, if we relate to the ankle and the knee and the hip, they all need to move at the same plane, yeah, in order that the support will rise up. So this is exactly where the Trager approach comes into my work in structural integration. Because in structural integration, they do not teach easy movement, soft. They do not teach being in the body as you want to be. They teach what is efficient physically. And it's great consciousness to realize, where is my center? Where is my central axis? And yet, they do not teach how to release into the ground through that central axis. It just gives you the option. So teaching how to release and how to recognize the support of the earth is something extra that I bring into the sessions. And of course, according to what's needed, some people really, really need to learn how to release, how to let go, especially in interaction. Some people know they can let go, maybe even too much. And I need to teach them more to hold the structure. Don't just fall to everywhere. Realize where the structure is and hold that with minimal effort. So in my work, it's always together. The teaching of how to release, not too much, just so that you can be correct on the structure and with minimal effort to do the movement that is asked. And what I find even more fascinating is the working together. How we both meet at the same place in the body of the client. We both feel the heat and we both feel the melting, and we both feel how it is opening when he's doing the movement correctly. And that takes time, because usually people will do a movement like sport movement. It will be quick, strong, and non-effective at all regarding fascia. You need to do it real slow and really to be able to listen to what's happening, and then it's opening the fascia. So that's part of what's exciting me with this work. I can say that if I bring back in the LTT, it's the whole subject of body-mind thing, or the relationship. Oh, we are working on this muscle. Okay, what are you holding there, or what's happening there? What's the weakness, or what's the stuckness, or is it fluidity? Whatever it is. And some people are interested to learn to recognize how it resembles what's happening in their life. Some people less, depending. So I'm available for both. Yeah.
That's very interesting, Abraham. The idea of people that are coming to you because they feel something inside their body, lower back pain, for example.
Exactly.
But the idea could very easily be that there's tension that's in that body that's coming from some sort of an emotional thing. Could be the circumstances in which they're living in. It could be a number of different things. How do you navigate through that while working with a client? Because you have to touch into that.
I'm not sure that I got what you meant to ask, but I'll start answering to what I thought about, and that is that to say that the way that I navigate, I take the structural integration as a structure for my work. Because I don't know if you are familiar with it, but the structural integration, it is structured work, 10 sessions. So in each session, you know which area you're going to work on. And it's building up. It's like building from the bottom to the top and from the outside to the inside. And it wants to bring you to be able to function from your central axis out. So I use the structure of this series in most sessions, not with everybody, but most people are coming because of structural integration. They heard about structural integration. Almost no one. one woman did come to me, a lovely woman, because of the Trager approach, because she got a lovely session in the States of a Trager, one of the first women who learned with Trager, and it was amazing for her. And she is she had a CP. She has a CP, and so we started with Trager approach, but later on we put in also some deep work. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes less. So with her, it is less structured. And also after we finish the 10 sessions, it becomes less structured. So it's more like, okay, what's needed today? Or maybe we have already discovered a theme in my life, in the life of the client. What is your theme? And we are working on that. And as I said, the work about the seeing what's behind it, what's your concept that makes you do things the way you do them, and which you are not happy with. You want to change it. So you want to see that, And if there is being like born a wish inside you to change it and to be something else, that you know what you want, then we work towards that. So sometimes with the physical work, because all these habits that we do, we are doing them unconsciously. So it's always with some kind of contractions and adhesions that are created. So opening it, and while also relating to, okay, what's your next step now in life? What we want to do? What do you want to do? And so on. So there is, so that's another way to navigate through a session or through a process, really. Yeah.
What was that like for you? Were you born a curious person about your own self, or
Totally.
yeah. So what was it like for you experiencing all of these changes, and you're doing all of, you're a farmer, and so what was that like?
Well, I think that as a child, I told you I was a sports guy. I was doing gymnastics, and I was doing athletics, and I was good in jumping to the far, and I hurt myself through that. I also hurt myself through gymnastics, and my teachers didn't mind me hurting myself. They just wanted me to bring medals.
Uh-huh.
And about the age of 14, I met a very special teacher, a karate teacher, who introduced me to a Zen teacher, a very special Zen teacher, Japanese, who was living at the time already 20 years in a neighborhood near Jerusalem, but in the older city. And so I was introduced into something else that you don't see it in school or at home, and it got me. I was very interested already then. And already then I decided I will not leave school because I didn't want to hurt my parents. So I stayed in school, but I didn't see in school really teachers, except there was an opportunity also in school, which is amazing, really, because I don't know how you want to call it, but one of the, not the headmaster, the one underneath him, he came to our class and talked about a healer, a woman healer whom he met, and how she helped many, many people. And at the end of this lesson, my teacher, she told me, then I was called Avi, yes? So she said, Avi, ask the phone number of this healer because you are missing 2 days a week. And he, with the permission of my parents, he gave me the number, and then it was about 12 or 13 years that I was learning not just healing, but it was a kind of meditation and developmental process. So that was at the age of 17. So I almost was born with it.
Yeah, what a tremendous opportunity. That's a tremendous opportunity. Yeah. That's awesome. Well, Avi, if people are interested in getting in touch with you, what is the best way for someone to reach out to you?
Well, my website.
Abraham, I'm sorry, Abraham.
Yeah. But the name of my website, the address is still avibahat.com. I couldn't change that yet. It will be changed, but not yet, only with the new one, the new website. So everybody can find me on the website and through there to send me a message, and they can find me. They can find a lot about me in the website. It's a very big website.
And I see also that sometimes you're on YouTube and sometimes on Facebook with videos.
Yeah. I'm not allowed on Facebook, but I might now go back as I'm going to teach again. I'm going to teach again the structural integration, And but I'm so happy because it's a bigger program than I used to do, and in it there are two levels of the Trager approach. So I'm really happy about that. Yeah, and there is another thing in it which it's a combination which I call rock and roll. So rock and roll is a technique. It's not a system. It's not a method, but it's a technique that I'm using a lot, and it's very, very useful, especially in acute stages when someone is in real pain. Yeah. So I'm teaching that as well, connected with the Trager work. Yeah.
Wonderful. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that was exciting. It sounds like it sounds as if Abraham, that you've been guided through this, through your life, one thing after another. I'm particularly interested in that Zen approach, which brings you into that peaceful place. And we're going to be talking to Abraham again for a couple more episodes. I'm very interested in hearing, perhaps maybe in your third episode, talking about the LTT approach. That's caught my attention.
Yeah. Okay.
And but our next episode with you, I would like to talk a little bit about the people that you've worked with, the clients that you've dealt with, some of the things that you've experienced.
Yeah.
Just about all the pioneers that have been on the show refer to their clients as their teachers, because everyone you work with brings something new into your game. So we're going to look forward to those episodes. So I think we're going to close up this episode right now. And thank you. Really, really appreciate your time on this. And Anna Marie, if you'd like to take the closing on this, we'll see you next time.
We'd
Okay.
like to
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Portraits of the Pioneers. We hope that these stories inspire you. This series has been made possible by our hosts, Richard Mack and Anna Marie Bowers. Our production team, Mitch Lieber, Roger Gutzwiller, Madelana Ferrara, and our guests, whose willingness to share their personal stories is vital to educating the public and creating change. Their leadership is our lineage. Thanks to our sponsors, Mind Your Body and the Foundation for Somatic Touch, both on the web at myb.llc and foundationforsomatictouch.org. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and join us again for more interesting, compelling, and heartfelt stories.